Good evening and welcome to tonight's Board of Education meeting. Let me ask Megan Kerr to lead us in the pledge. Megan? Good evening and welcome.
If you could stand and place your hand over your hearts and face the flag or face east. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Megan. Okay. The video on YouTube is still going, so now they're sitting. Okay. We welcome those who are here for purposes of addressing the board at the proper time and in the order of their request. For those who have not already submitted a request, we have provided forms in the back of the room and also have additional copies here in the front at the Assistant Secretary's position. If you wish to speak during the meeting, please fill out a form indicating your name and the agenda item you wish to address. You may also make a request to give testimony on an item not listed for discussion today. However, full discussion on any item not listed on the agenda will have to be delayed until such time as the item can be publicly posted in advance as a regular agenda item. If you wish to ask questions, please address them to the chair and not the individual members of the board or to the staff. The board has been meeting in closed session regarding matters listed on today's closed session agenda. We do have a report coming out of closed session. Brent?
Yeah, Dr. Williams, that portion will be deferred until later when Jill's contract is discussed.
Okay.
So the board did meet with its representative Ruth Ashley, but we'll discuss that further when it comes to the superintendent's contract later in the agenda.
And wishes to report that no reportable actions were taken. Thank you, Brent. Okay, public hearing.
Yes, Dr. Williams, this is the time that we've set aside for the Special Education Service and Budget Plans public hearing. We do not have any comments, so we're going to declare the hearing closed.
Okay, thank you, Chris. All right, call for agenda items for separate action and adoption of the agenda is posted.
Move approval.
We do have one item to modify the agenda on the classified report. We're going to pull the pool operators abolishment. So that would be changed.
Okay.
I second approval as amended.
Thank you very much. Discussion. Roll call. All in favor? Megan?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Approval of minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call. Megan?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
I vote aye. The minutes are approved. Communications, Long Beach Council PTA, Letitia?
Yes, I will be reading a statement submitted by Erica Dawson, who is the president of the Long Beach Council PTA. I want to thank the Board of Education and Superintendent Steinhauser for the opportunity to speak with you today. I would have loved to be there in person, but am thankful for the accommodations that technology has afforded us to still be connected when we are physically apart. For those listening who might not know, Long Beach Council PTA serves as support, training, and more to the 43 PTA units in Long Beach Unified School District. We have a strong leadership team that mentor the unit presidents so that they can run their PTAs well informed. Membership for this school year in our council is just above 14,565 members, consisting of parents, teachers, administrators, and supporters of children. When at a unit, PTA members advocate for all of the children in their school, not just the members. At Council PTA, we advocate for all children in our community. The motto for PTA, every child, one voice. Our PTA units have been very busy this year, from holding book fairs to funding projects and events at the school that they serve. We have seen talent shows and kindness weeks, science enrichment, and the National PTA Reflections Art Program, where 5 of our student entries made it to the California State PTA level. 1 student from Patrick Henry, Samuel Paxton, made it to the National PTA level for music composition. That has not happened in a long time for a Long Beach entry. We normally hold a reception to celebrate the 100-plus forms of artwork that is submitted to Council. An online celebration is currently being worked on. This February, Council PTA, in partnership with the League of Women Voters Long Beach, hosted a candidates forum for the Board of Education seats that were on the March ballot. We continue to partner with the Bethune Transitional Center by holding school supply and hygiene drives, gift card drives to support some of the most vulnerable students attending LBUSD schools. As we navigate these waters with school closures and limits to gatherings, PTA has had to adapt as well. With direction from California State PTA, our units have moved to having their board meetings and association meetings virtually. It has been quite a challenge, being that more than half of our units have needed to conduct elections this way. The volunteers that serve a PTA are to be commended for their efforts, and I want to publicly thank every one of them who are serving in elected positions on a PTA board. For those who serve on committees for programs and events that get their entire school population involved, I want to thank the members of the associations for showing your support for our mission. As part of IRS requirements for nonprofits, we are required to collect volunteer hours annually. With 37 of our 43 units reporting and adding to the council numbers, we are pleased to report that PTA units in Long Beach Unified Schools have logged 125,191 hours of volunteering. With the value of the volunteer hourly rate, that would equate to a dollar figure of $3,183,607.13 in time donated to the district. We have a symbolic check to give, which should be there. Since I can't be there in person, I sent a photo. We all need a why to do things we do, especially when it comes to giving of our time. Why did I get involved? There was a need. I had the time that was needed, so I said yes. Still, one of my favorite jobs that I've done. I was a Thursday fruit popsicle mom. Why do I stay involved? I've learned so much in the 10 years that I have been a volunteer. So now, serving on Council PTA, I am able to help guide and lead a team of helpers to support our units. Thank you, Erica Dawson.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Letitia. Okay, moving right along. We are now at staff reports. There is none. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Public testimony on items listed on the agenda. I do understand we have some requests, Letitia.
Yes, we have quite a bit of them.
And Letitia, I will tell you when the 3 minutes are up.
Okay, thank you. So I will begin with Corliss Lee, who is president of Eastside Voice. Members of the school board, please be supportive of the request to allow students to choose a grade or a pass-fail designation for their final grades in 2020. Students are still going to have to compete for seats in universities and colleges, and their GPA matters. Through no fault of their own, COVID-19 interrupted their school year, and if they have done the work, they deserve the grade. I'm sorry to see them having to skip graduation and instead be satisfied with well-wishers driving by blowing their horns. Taking away a grade they worked for is an unnecessary penalty. We can do better than this. For any student that believes they were treated unfairly due to a lack of computing equipment or access, perhaps an arrangement can be made for makeup in the local libraries this summer once the COVID-19 restrictions are lifted, and they can too choose to have a grade assigned once the work is completed. Respectfully, Corlissly. This is Ann Cantrell, retired Long Beach teacher. Dear decision makers, I urge one or more of you to make a motion for this item to change the current grading policy for 9 through 12 grades by allowing a choice of whether to receive a letter grade or credit, no credit. There are many reasons for making this policy change, including, number one, over 20 students, parents, and grandparents spoke at the May 6, 2020 school board meeting asking the board to change the current credit, no credit policy to one allowing a choice. Number two, an online petition for this choice has received over 1,600 signatures in less than 2 weeks. The petition has been signed by students, parents, grandparents, teachers, and friends. Number three, credit, no credit penalizes those students for whom receiving an A is very important. The school district has always placed great value on grades, rewarding those A students at graduations with medals and awards. Number four, many other districts in California and around the country are giving their students a choice. Long Beach students will be at a disadvantage, especially those AP students who would have received 5 points for an A grade. Their cumulative grade point average will be lower than students from those districts allowing a choice. Number five, teachers say that credit, no credit is resulting in less work and learning by many students. Number six, a choice is fair to all students. This is David Porsk. My name is David Porsk, or Porski, and I have been an English teacher at Millikan High School since the 1989-90 school year. Since 2001, I have taught English 1-2 in Millikan's Quest Smaller Learning Community. I applaud the many efforts of the LBUSD during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the distribution of technology and the decision to allow for credit, no credit semester grades for high school students. However, not allowing students to choose whether or not they would like to receive a letter grade instead of credit, no credit at the end of the semester does many of our students a disservice. I am aware that the credit, no credit policy was put in place to, quote, do no harm, quote, to LBUSD high school students and to help lower their level of stress. However, since many other districts are allowing high school students to choose to receive a letter grade at the end of the semester, Long Beach's decision can possibly do harm and put our college-bound students at a disadvantage in the future. I am aware that colleges and universities that have said they will take into account that students' grades from this semester may look very different from all other semesters on their high school transcripts. As encouraging as that is, I can't help but sense that in the next 3 years, an LBUSD high school students' transcripts with credit for courses this semester and grades for all the others will not be given the same consideration as a student from another district who has letter grades for all semesters on his or her transcript. Finally, I realize that having 2 different grading systems for students may create extra work, but since I believe it serves the best interests of the students who request it, it is work I am willing to do. This is from Dove Mayo. Dear LBUSD Board, I urge one or more of you to make a motion for this item to change the current grading policy for 9 through 12 grades by allowing a choice whether to receive a letter grade or credit, no credit. There are many reasons for making this policy change. I was informed that the decision was based on equity. However, I feel the board is trying to build equity on the backs of other students, thus creating a new inequitable situation. LBUSD has policies with inequity built in. For example, school of choice sounds equitable, but how many economically and socially disadvantaged kids actually get his or her choice? I don't see many economically disadvantaged students getting into Naples Elementary. True equity would be getting those kids transportation to travel across town to attend those schools. Also, small learning communities are inequitable, as not every kid will be accepted into the program they want based on criteria that includes a minimum GPA. I feel like you are not choosing equity by discriminating against a student population who has the motivation and resources to achieve their own personal academic goal. Every school, whether Wilson or Jordan, has students who strive to do their best and want to see those accolades reflected on their transcripts. This also isn't just about getting into one's dream college. It's about kids having the opportunity to raise their GPA, which is in our society a huge accolade, thus increasing their self-esteem and getting them excited about learning. Allowing students to choose right now does not seem like a hard thing to institute. Teachers are still giving grades, and School Loop is active with current grades. Couldn't we just use the grades that are already on School Loop? The board cannot say this is a do-no-harm policy. If this decision negatively impacts just one kid, it was harmful. Real equity is giving every student a choice on how their academic accomplishments are reflected on their transcripts. Once again, I urge you to make a motion to change this current grading policy. Thank you. Next is from Ruben and Adrian Mancillas. Good evening, Board President Williams, Superintendent Steinhauser, and members of the board. Thank you for hearing our concern regarding the district's current grading policy of credit, no credit, without an opt-in choice to receive grades for the spring 2020 semester. We have written to each of you earlier on behalf of our 3 children who are juniors at Wilson and wish to request yet again the choice for students to receive grades. We respectfully urge you to reconsider your prior decision and vote tonight in favor to give students an opportunity to opt in to receive grades. We ask you to reconsider based on the following points. Number 1, as the likelihood of for distance learning into the fall semester continues to grow, when will grades be viewed as necessary and acceptable again in LBUSD? Assuming there is even a small degree of distance learning that needs to occur in the fall, will the district continue to be credit, no credit, without an option to receive grades then as well? If not, then why punish the high school students, juniors in particular, for this one semester when for many their grades are an absolute necessity for college admissions? The logical conclusion of the district's current policy is that the letter grades can never again be implemented until every single equity issue is satisfactorily resolved. The likelihood is that some iteration of distance learning will need to remain in place throughout the next school year, but it will be a gross disservice and the very definition of inequitable if letter grades return for every other semester except this one. Questions regarding students having the technology infrastructure to be successful online will be an ongoing problem that needs to be addressed, but let us not make the mistake of conflating the 2 issues. The district needs to help students have equitable access to instruction. The district also needs to give students the option to receive grades if they request them. Number 2, in making decisions regarding grading policy during school closures, school districts are obligated to follow state and county guidelines. The California Department of Education, CDE, lists considerations for school districts who choose to implement credit, no credit grading as follows. Quote, how will students be held harmless so that these grading approaches do not negatively affect their GPA or eligibility for program placement, including AP or honors courses? Will there be an offer or an option for students to petition the school for a grade? In both of these points, LBUSD is indeed harming students by not adhering to these guidelines. Many students, including our own, are being deprived of the opportunity
Mrs.
to raise
Rodriguez,
GPA.
time is up.
Okay. So the next is Rebecca Snellen. Dear school board members, In regards to the ability for LBUSD to offer letter grades to the 9th through 12th grades, please consider giving our kids a choice to have grades. For the past 10 weeks, we have lived with restrictions and have all been told what to do, which is inherently very un-American. For the students such as my son, who is in WAVE at Wilson and taking 5 AP courses with straight A's as of March 13, 2020, well, he deserves those grades on his report card. This is not an issue of class or ability separation. This is an issue of motivation. My son is still doing all of his work and checking in daily with his teachers. One of his AP classes has only had 50% of the students check in since school ended on 3/16. 50% of kids in an AP class. I tell my kids that their grades are their paycheck. Imagine you went to work every day and performed tasks beyond your duties, working overtime. At the end of the week, your employer said, "Great job this week. Here's a couple of gift cards instead of a paycheck." You can't pay bills with a gift card, just like our kids cannot get into college with credit, no credit. We have no idea what the colleges and universities are going to do because they have no idea what they will do with regards to opening campuses, types of classes, and acceptance policies. There is no single governing body for private and public high schools or for all of higher education in this country. State and private schools can do whatever they want. It is irresponsible for LBUSD to base any of their decisions on what the CSU systems say they might do. Just like the state cannot seem to understand what this virus will do next, neither can the higher education system predict what they will do in regards to college acceptance, grades, and test scores. Don't be caught contradicting yourselves, retracting or apologizing to our students down the road because you acted in haste or fear. Do what is right and best for our kids. Please, quote, do no harm, quote, and let our kids choose the grades they have earned. Respectfully, Becky Snellen. Next is Riley Cantrell. I am a sophomore at Milligan High School, and I urge you to make the motion for students to be able to choose between letter grades or the credit, no credit system. I created a petition asking for students to be given the option to have letter grades or credit, no credit. It has over 1,600 signatures. In addition, I've emailed Milligan teachers asking them what their opinions are on the credit, no credit system. I received many responses agreeing that students be given the choice. Teachers all over the district are still inputting grades as usual, so using letter grades for some students would have no negative impact on them or create chaos. Giving students the choice for which system they prefer is the best solution to this problem. Students can choose which option best suits them and benefits their educational futures. Plenty of other districts around the country are giving their students a choice. We are the minority who cannot choose what we want. This being said, we are at an immense disadvantage. Simply put, students with letter grades will have higher GPAs than ours. They will be accepted into colleges over us. We are at a higher probability of failure. Why not give us the resources to succeed and the chance to create a good name for the Long Beach Unified School District? As a student, I understand how my fellow peers are feeling, and we all want the same thing, equity. We should be given the choice that has the best effect on us individually. The most disappointing part of the credit, no credit policy is that all our countless hours spent studying and completing assignments will not be accounted for. Governments are supposed to take policy action that is as least disruptive as possible. When over 1,600 people are being disrupted by this decision, something needs to change. Students, teachers, and parents all understand that this is a huge decision that won't be taken lightly. We commend you for all your hard work and allowing us to express our concerns for the credit, no credit system. Please help us to achieve our goals and equity in this great city by making the motion and vote to give us a choice. Thank you for your time. So next we have Howard Mayo. Dear board members, according to the LBUSD website, the district's grading embraces a do no harm policy. Can someone please explain to me how letting a student choose between credit or no credit or a letter grade is harmful? Thank you. Parent of 3 LBUSD children. This is a new one. This is, hi, my name is Tanya Wanamaker. My son is a sophomore enrolled at Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach. I am writing to express my support of an option for LBUSD students to receive letter grades for spring semester. Tomorrow will be the first time the board will have an opportunity to vote on this, and I urge you to make the motion and vote to give the students a choice. A choice is true equity. I believe a credit, no credit grading system is a favored attempt at a level set. I understand the need to enact a system that is not harmful due to the varying levels of home learning environments, accessibility to technology, or other basic needs and hardships during this time of COVID. For those who are struggling to meet the demand of an in-home learning environment without the safety and support that the school learning environment fosters, the credit, no credit system is equitable for that subset of the population that would otherwise be negatively impacted of no fault of their own. However, it appears that those students who may have compromised learning environments, that they have worked even tirelessly to maintain the grades, that for them is their ticket to a good college acceptance and their hope for a better life. To a large group of the student body, at a minimum, the 1,500 who signed the petition, they have worked so diligently all year, and we were on target to get a 4.0 from AP classes to help boost their GPA. And now, with credit, no credit, this can no longer happen. Colleges will be looking at the overall GPA of all 4 years. This semester would bump the GPA up for many. And with that opportunity being stripped from them, then there is indeed harm to those students. It limits their ability to reach the goals they had set for themselves and the goals expected of them by colleges. This semester could mean the difference of a student being passed over for acceptance due to that GPA difference in comparison to those that they compete with for a spot. While our district has moved to this system, other districts within California and other states are using the option of true letter grading. Our students will be competing for our own California UC schools, which you know are highly competitive, and in fact, your reporting on the College Readiness Guide reflects students' accessibility to those schools based heavily on their GPA level. Credit, no credit is not equitable. It is a discrimination in favor of those who are loosely categorized from a survey on internet accessibility and unsubstantiated assumptions prior to COVID on their ability to achieve during COVID. Those who worked hard, whether from homes that are now in compromised environments.
Mrs. Rodriguez, time is up.
Yeah, okay. Next, we have Kimberly Lowery. Greetings. Thank you for the attention and effort you invest in supporting the students in our Long Beach Unified School District. I appreciate that the board strives to keep the best interest of our diverse student body in mind as you make decisions during this pandemic. While it is commendable to make protecting the disadvantaged in this current climate a priority, I implore you to consider what is best for every student in our district. As a parent of 2 children, a college sophomore and a high school junior, I am deeply concerned about the credit, no credit policy that has been proposed. My son is a student in the WAVE program at Wilson, and he, along with the other students carrying a heavy AP workload, will be negatively impacted by the credit, no credit policy. He has been working diligently this year on both his school grades and his SAT scores. He is invested in the college application process and is earnestly striving to do his best. When the credit, no credit decision was announced, he was extremely disappointed. He feels that it is very unfair that his grade will be exactly the same as some of his fellow schoolmates who were not giving their best effort. He has a valid point. That being said, I want to stress that these radical changes are not only negatively affecting students with their higher GPAs. This decision is making assumptions that impacts all students, especially our 10th and 11th graders. We all benefit from structure and normalcy. I believe it is our responsibility as the grown-ups to provide that structure, especially in times of uncertainty. Keeping expectations and boundaries consistent will reduce stress and provide framework. It will help the entire student body feel less untethered. In order to support all students, I implore you to implement a choice of credit, no credit, or an opt-in policy for those students who want letter grades and are fortunate enough to have a supportive learning environment at home. Don't take this opportunity for structure and normalcy away from the student body. Grant each student and their families the power to choose what solution is best in their current situation. I am confident each of you are giving your best effort to devise strategies that will support the future of our entire student body. Thank you for your time and consideration. This is from Kim Erkman. We recognize LBUSD focus on equity, yet college applications already have opportunities for students to explain educational or personal challenges. The common application has specific essay prompts, particularly number 1 and number 2, for students to explain their background or obstacles they have faced, in addition to a section on additional information. The UC application's personal insight questions, particularly number 4 and number 5, also ask students about an educational barrier or specific challenge. Colleges already have indicated they are going to be very responsive to students who have faced significant challenges because of the pandemic, and those essays would be compelling. Including a pass-fail option is equitable, but not offering a letter grade option to students denies many more students the opportunity to improve their record in their final semesters before applying. In some cases, these students are still trying to qualify for the minimum GPA for Cal State admission. Also, a possibly overlooked group when considering equity issues represents about half the student population, boys. Boys mature later than girls, which might partially explain why the students in the photos of LBUSD valedictorians are usually overwhelmingly female. Indeed, boys are now a minority on many college campuses, with many colleges approximately 60% female. Boys often need the final 2 years of high school grades to prove their academic ability after reaching physical maturity. Thanks again for your efforts. Next, we have Melinda Cotton. Dear LBUSD Board of Education, I urge the board to honor the request of a multitude of LBUSD students, their parents, and the public at large to change the current grading policy for 9th through 12th grades by allowing a choice of whether to receive a letter grade or credit, no credit. This seems only fair to LBUSD students whose current semester has been totally upended by the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences. Thank you. Next, we have one from Tim Gilmore. I feel that the superintendent should have a 1-year employment agreement, not a 4-year agreement. I think it's a disservice to the community of Long Beach if we don't incentivize the first year for our superintendent. Then after 1 year, the board could come back and give her a 4-year agreement. I thank you for your time. Next, we have Christy Browns. Over 1,600 students, teachers, and family members are in agreement. Students should be given the choice as to whether they receive credit or a letter grade for the spring semester. The other school districts in California are awarding the students grades or the option to have grades or credit, no credit. I spoke with 3 school district administrators in Long Beach Unified, and the LBUSD administrators were not able to identify any other school district that only offered the credit, no credit policy. This evidence piece shows that the administrators did not make a fully informed decision when they chose the credit, no credit option for students. In addition, the parents and students did not choose the credit, no credit option that included a no grades option. Colleges want to see transcripts with letter grades. Harvard Medical School, for instance, has said it will accept pass grades for courses taken this semester, although it notes that letter grades would be preferred if the option for such grades is offered. This fine print that suggests there could be problems ahead for some applicants. Please see the article that contains this quote and states the pass-fail grades may harm students later, reported in PBS. This credit-no-credit system appears to penalize those students who work hard for their grade. The other districts, including Los Angeles Unified, Los Alamitos, San Diego Unified, and many others, are giving their seniors a grade or a choice of credit-no-credit. Long Beach Unified has not offered this option. Instead, LBUSD only offered credit-no-credit, which is causing harm and emotional distress for many students and their families. Long Beach students will be at a disadvantage on their college applications. To be absolutely fair to all students, Long Beach should give the student a grade or a choice to receive credit, no credit. My child has a chance to become a National Merit Scholar based on his PSAT score, in which he scored in the 99th percentile. Taking away students' grades and awarding them only credit, no credit could harm the student's ability to receive merit and academic scholarships. This could harm students financially. The credit, no credit policy is causing harm to students and their families. In addition, the school districts in the surrounding areas are awarding grades to their students. Please afford the students an opportunity to choose a grade or credit, no credit. Thank you for your time. This is from Californians for Justice. Good evening, LBUSD board members. My name is Norma Rodriguez, and I am the organizing director with Californians for Justice. Californians for Justice, CFJ, is a statewide grassroots organization working for educational equity and racial justice by building the power of youth, communities of color, immigrants, low-income families, and LGBTQ communities. We are committed to elevating the voices of youth and empowering young people to create brighter, more just futures. Here in Long Beach, we have been building youth power for over 15 years. We work with student leaders at Lakewood, Poly, and Cabrillo, and district-wide, and we are proud partners with LBUSD in centering and building equity and inclusion. I'm writing to you all in regards to new business agenda item 26, grading policies, grades 9 through 12. We applaud the board's decision to pass the no harm credit, no credit grading policy passed on March 13, 2020. From the CFJ perspective, this decision centers equity by taking into account our highest need students and the challenges of inequity that the COVID crisis has exacerbated. We urge you to maintain this policy and not provide an opt-in option. Passing a last-minute opt-in option will further exacerbate inequalities and the achievement gap within the district for the benefit of a privileged few. To keep the expectations of grades the same when folks are worried about having stable housing, food to eat, and family members who are essential workers that are putting their lives at risk, inhumane. It does not center equity or inclusion for all LBUSD students. Maintaining the pass, no pass policy in place is the minimum that the district can do to meet students where they are at and ensure they don't fail because they didn't ask for this pandemic. We are hearing directly from our LBUSD youth leaders that this credit, no credit has taken some stress and pressure off of them, especially when they are facing so much uncertainty and concerns about their future. In a recent needs assessment we conducted with 600-plus students and families, COVID-19 has especially impacted the mental health of young people as they learn to cope through distance learning and family stress from rising unemployment and death rates. Many of our students are experiencing hardships with their families, like job loss, family members who are essential workers putting their health and safety on the line to pay the bills, housing insecurity, food insecurity, limited time due to stress from babysitting siblings, isolation, or difficult home environments, and the digital divide, lack of access to the internet. Overall, students and their families are trying to survive. Some thoughts from a couple of our high school youth leaders. Many families who don't have as many resources
Mrs.
are
Rodriguez, our time is up, and
Okay.
for that as well as the entire item.
Okay, we're done then. Thank you.
Patricia, thank you for the excellent work in going through that. Get your breath. We have to get you started again.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Staff reports, we have none. Public testimony on items not listed on the agenda.
I do have some.
Are you ready, Patricia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So this is from Susie Price, Councilwoman of the 3rd District. Dear Board of Education members, our children need to get back to school. I am a mother of 2 boys. As with many of my friends and neighbors, LBUSD's decision to close school campuses was a very significant development in our lives. I understand why the decision was made, and I support the school board 100% because it was the right decision at the time. But a lot has happened since then. There is more data from which new models have been created, and based on all of that, I think it is time to consider opening the schools this fall. In our family, where both parents work outside the home in essential industries, we had to make some major adjustments. First, I had to figure out how I could work from home at least part of the day, each day, in order to help facilitate my younger son's educational goals and expectations. Second, like many in our community, I had to learn how to mitigate the learning loss that would come from my son being out of school, where presumably he is learning from teachers who are trained on the topic and learning methods for kids his age. This has been one of the biggest challenges for me. Despite my best efforts, I know that my ability to learn these subjects with him and help him grasp the concepts is nowhere near where it needs to be in order for him to progress. For the most part, I have very much enjoyed the process of learning alongside him, but I am not sure how effective I have been in transferring knowledge or helping him retain information. I am a lawyer, councilwoman. My expertise is not in teaching or in the subject matter that is taught in middle school. I say all of this about my own experience, but I am mindful of so many families where adjustments could not be made for a parent to be at home, where the learning environment may not be well suited for learning, or where access to technology may be limited or non-existent. These children are experiencing learning loss at a much higher rate than even those who are home with well-intentioned but limited parental support and resources. Third, it did not occur to me as essential when this first happened, but it's so clear to me now. Our kids need socialization and diverse perspectives to keep their own minds active and engaged. So many of the students in our community have taken to social media, video games, and TV shows to occupy their time in the last 2 months. This can only go on for so long. Kids need activities and socialization to thrive. We cannot continue to isolate them, especially when there are ways that we can account for the public health concerns we have for their welfare and the welfare of others. I am hopeful that LBUSD will partner with us parents to come up with ways that we can safely reintegrate these kids into the...
Mrs. Rodriguez, time is up.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have Edric Guys. Please advise the LBUSD School Board for tonight's meeting that I support leaving Chromebooks with students over the summer. This is important to help overcome the digital divide among students and protect the academic progress of students that otherwise have little or no web access or digital education opportunities. Thank you. We have Lenore Brown. I encourage the board to allow the students in Long Beach Unified School District to keep their Chromebooks over the summer so they can continue their education. This is an integral part of the coronavirus rehabilitation for our young people. Thank you. Sydney Simon. I support allowing continued use of Chromebooks, especially since under current conditions, students really need to be connected. Thank you. This is Shelley Randolph. I am the mother of a high-achieving 10th grader at Wilson High School with an underlying health condition, so our daughter is a high-risk student. As we are aware, the CDC guidelines were just released yesterday to the general public, so parents now have a standard for comparative analysis. It is my hope that the board will also consider partnering with local experts to address the concerns of parents of high-risk students, including those with the following underlying conditions: immune-compromised, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, lung ailments, asthma. Long Beach has a local expert, Dr. Meltzler, as well as the Long Beach Alliance for Children with Asthma at the Miller Children's Hospital. Bottom line, every high-risk family will have a lot to consider in assessing its own risk tolerance level and in formulating its own family plan. In general, my concern is that the physical school environment may not be sufficient for my family's risk tolerance level to allow our daughter to attend traditional school. It will greatly depend on how the guidelines are implemented at her specific high school, Wilson. We cannot allow our daughter to become a data point in the grand experiment of school reopening. My request of the board is to allocate sufficient resources to provide the necessary services for students to pursue their education at the same level of academic rigor, but in an off-site environment at home. I would also suggest to work on an agreement with LBCC for late admittance to the dual enrollment program. The dual enrollment program is one way to ensure high academics for those who want it, which is also convenient as the fall session is being taught in an online format. Many institutions are extending deadlines, so this should be a reasonable request. Thank you. And that is all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. We are now at business items. Personnel, Mr. Meyer.
I present the following proposed actions prepared by the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resource Services, approved and recommended by the Superintendent. Classified and exempt personnel. Move G, abolishments, and not deal with that this evening. A, appointments. 4, leaves of absence. 8, demotions. 1, termination of service. 2, resignation. 3, retirement. 3, amendments. 2, certificated personnel. Appointments 176, leaves of absence 3, release of long-term sub-employees 56, separations deceased 1, retirements 14, rescission. I move approval.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. Craig.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
Aye.
Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Instruction.
Move approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
Aye.
Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Finance report A.
Move approval.
Move approval. Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer. Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
Aye.
Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Finance report B.
Move approval.
Move to approve. Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Mr. President, I recuse myself from participation in Finance Report B on the consent calendar. I have a potential financial interest under Government Code 1091 and 87100. My husband works for a subcontractor who has done work for the payees.
All right. Thank you, Megan. Further discussion? Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved 4-0 with one recusal. Business Department report.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
Mr. Meyer? Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Kerr?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Purchasing and contract report A.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Kerr?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Purchasing and contract report B.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Mr. President, I recuse myself from participation in purchasing and contract report B on the consent calendar. I have a potential financial interest under Government Code 1091 and 87100. My husband works for a subcontractor who has done work for the awardees.
Thank you, Megan. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead?
Aye.
Mr. Meyer?
Aye.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved 4-0 with one recusal. We are now at other items, superintendent items, administrative assignment.
Yes, Mr. President and members of the board, staff makes the following recommendations for administrative assignments as well as movement, and I apologize up front to anyone who I mispronounced their name. So I'll start at the elementary school level. Maruna Utwa Laskar, who's currently an assistant principal at Lakewood High School, to a principal Avalon K-12. Helen Magana, who is currently the acting principal at Bircham, to principal at Bircham. Kateria Hernandez, who is currently a program administrator in the Human Resource Services Division, to principal Bernie Elementary School. Christopher Lounsbury, who is currently principal of Avalon, to principal at Fremont. Karen Grunst, who is currently assistant principal at Muir, to assistant principal Hart 50% and Muir 50%. Linda Reynolds, who is currently assistant principal Hudson 50% and Lafayette 50%, to assistant principal at Nieto Herrera. At the middle and K-8 level, Stacy Benuzzi, who is currently assistant principal in the middle and K-8 schools office, to a principal of Lindbergh. Augustine Verara, who is currently a teacher on special assignment at Henry, to assistant principal of Marshall. Troy Bennett, who is currently a principal at Beach, to principal of Hughes Middle School. Thomas Espinoza, who is currently the principal of Keller Middle School, to principal Hudson K-8 School. Don Lomelli, who is currently principal Lindbergh Middle School, to principal Keller Middle School. Cassandra Richards, who is currently the principal of Fremont, to assistant principal at the Coverly Monroe Measure E site. At the high school level, Keisha Irving, who is currently the vice principal at Milliken High School, to the principal of Jordan High School. Veronica Ronnie Coleman, who is currently the principal of Jordan High School, to the principal of Sado High School. Cheryl Conejo, who is currently the principal of Cabrillo High School, to the principal of Cams High School. Wendy Poffenberger, who is currently the principal of Cams, to the principal of Cabrillo High School. Daniel Jimenez, who is currently assistant principal of Renaissance at 50% and Sado 50%, to assistant principal of Cabrillo High School. Cheryl Savio, who is currently assistant principal of Avalon, to assistant principal at Milliken High School. Raquel Welch Kitchen, who is currently the assistant principal at Marshall, to assistant principal at Lakewood High School. And the non-level, Pamela Rogers, who is currently a teacher on special assignment with Head Start, to the Educare Mentoring Supervisor, Educare. Enrico Bushuko, I know I mispronounced that name, teacher on special assignment at OCIPD, to Program Specialist and Induction Coordinator, OCIPD. Rochelle Martin, teacher on special assignment with OSSS and OCIPD, to Program Specialist Collaborative Co-Teaching Coordinator. Leo Ramos, who is currently a teacher on special assignment in OCIPD to Program Specialist Professional Development in OCIPD. Mona Merlot, who is currently the principal of Saddle High School to Principal in Special Assignment in the high school office. Mary Beth Murray, who is currently Assistant Principal Hart to Administrative Assistant, Office of Student Support Services. Luana Wesley, who is currently the Principal of Bernie Elementary School to Program Administrator, the Office of Student Support Services. Christopher Itzen, who is currently the Administrative Assistant in the Office of the Deputy Superintendent for Education Services to the Assistant Director, Marketing Media Services under the Office of the Superintendent. Market and Media Services is formerly known as OMS. New name. Ed Samuels, who is currently the Principal of Hughes Middle School to the Assistant Superintendent in the Office of the Superintendent. And these will be posted once the board takes action tomorrow.
I move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. First and foremost, I want to congratulate folks on their new assignments. You have a series of challenges before you in your new capacities, as does all of our district staff and personnel. But I also want to remind folks that around this time last year, we had 80-plus assignments, reassignments, and that staff was very deliberate, very mindful, very strategic in these recommendations. There isn't an increase in cost with the totality of these recommendations. There's actually a decrease. So I wanted to confirm that. But I also wanted to highlight that in light of the global pandemic that we're all experiencing and impacted by, that there is still a lot of uncertainty in relation to schools and in what capacity we'll be operating moving forward, and that there are also some very, very, very serious budget considerations that we are currently taking into account, but that we will continue to need to take into account because of the budget cuts facing us. So I want to thank the staff for these recommendations, but I did want to highlight that, Mr. Superintendent, if you could just confirm for folks, the key points that I just reiterated.
You are correct. The overall assignments are less this year, 28 compared to 82, and the overall number of administrators will be less also.
Okay, further discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
Aye.
Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. We are now at unfinished business. There is none. We're moving into new business, resolution 052020-A, supporting classified employee week. Is Ken Cato with us? Ken Cato?
He's on Zoom. He can't hear you, Dr. Williams.
Okay. All right, so we'll just move forward. Chris, you want to comment on this before we?
Yes, just like we did with our teachers at our last board meeting, this is our Ken. Sorry, Ken is here. Do you want to, Dr. Williams, Ken is on the line.
Ken, you want to provide some background, a little background on this? Ken? Okay. Some challenges here, huh?
Right.
Yes, I'm sorry, sir.
Chris, you got to put more money in the budget.
Yes, classified employees week.
Yes. Classified employees week is mandated, well, it's actually mentioned under the education code.
We're really having trouble. I'm having trouble hearing you, Ken.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Williams, we'd just like to say a huge thank you to our classified employees. As you well know, many of them have continued to come to the buildings to provide food to thousands of our students, to keep our schools clean. Our school district would not be our school, the great school system it is, without our classified employees working to support all the certificated employees and our students. So we're very thankful that we have the outstanding classified employees that we do, and this is just one small token of our appreciation for what they do each and every day for our young people.
Thank you, Chris. Can we get a motion in a second, then I'll open it up for discussion.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, Dr. Williams, this is Board Member Kerr. I just wanted to thank Ken and the classified staff. Part of the resolution says, whereas classified employees often operating largely in the background and out of the limelight provide essential support and contribute immeasurably to the quality educational programs for our children, youth, and adults, touching the lives of so many individuals with a profound and lasting effect. And I think that's really true. And one of my favorite events of the year is the classified barbecue that we have, because so many of these classified employees are off doing things spread out throughout our 4 cities and all of our school sites. And it's a day when we can really come together and celebrate them. And I missed that this year. And I just want our classified staff to know how incredibly grateful I am, and I think I could say on our behalf that we are, for all of the work that they are doing continuously throughout the school closure to make sure that our kids are healthy and that our kids are staying safe. So, Mr. Cotto, and to your team and the support that you give our classified staff, I'm grateful. And to all our classified, happy Classified Week.
Thank you very much, Megan. Further discussion?
Yes, I echo Board Member Kerr's sentiment. On our end, look at me, Ken, and all the classified staff. Just thank you from all of us. And I was looking forward to having some paletas, some ice popsicles at that classified celebration. Last year it was a fiesta theme. So let's just say we owe you. We will have that celebration at some point. Because of the incredible role that our classified play, and in the last couple of months, the huge pivot that we had to lean on our classified. So truly thankful, and the 72,000 students plus their families and community members, I know I can speak on their behalf as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Further discussion?
I just want to add my thanks and gratitude to all of our classified staff, and I think my colleague said it very well, but I just want to add my thanks too.
Thank you very much. I think we all really understand, and particularly at these times, the tremendous role that our classified staff play in the workings of the school district. They're not a second-place team, they're a first-place team, and I do understand that the event that is normally scheduled will be rescheduled, so hopefully we'll all get a chance to come together and say collectively how much we appreciate what they do day in and day out, and especially during these times. So thank you, our classified staff, and I look forward to our continued work with you. Further discussion? Call for a roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
Aye.
Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved unanimously. Okay, we are now into grading policy, grade 9 through 12. We've heard a lot of discussion in our past 2 board meetings. Chris, do you have any comments before we start?
Sure. This item has been brought by some members of our community for us to reconsider our no credit policy to allow an opt-in for students who wanted grades. Staff is not recommending that we change that policy for numerous reasons why we started the policy. And just for clarification, there are many districts in the state as well as the nation who are doing a no credit policy. Just a few in California are San Francisco, Palo Alto, Irvine, Garden Grove, Long Beach, just to mention a few.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, there you have it. Need a motion. Need a motion.
Is it just an information item, or do we need a motion?
There's no motion needed unless you want to change the policy from credit to no credit to include an opt-in. Staff is not recommending that we include the opt-in provision.
Can we still have a discussion even without a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you need a motion. Brent, don't they need a motion in a second to discuss the item?
Under Robert's Rules of Order, yes, they would need that. But this board has never bound itself by Robert's Rules of Order.
That's correct.
Robert's Rules of Order before.
So your board, you can decide.
So I'm not even going to ask for the motion again.
Well, how about this?
I want to share a few. Go ahead. Sorry, Diana.
Well, how about making a motion that we maintain our credit, no credit policy, and then we can go into a discussion.
Move to continue with our current policy regarding grades.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
So thank you, Board Member Craighead. So I want to share a few thoughts, given that we have heard a lot the last couple of weeks from students, community members, and parents. I have a student in our district, as I've shared here, oftentimes the last couple of years, and we are very fortunate, very privileged, extremely privileged. We have a roof over our heads. I have a job. We have food. We have internet access. We have technology to be able to access that. I have been fortunate enough to be able to work remotely during this time. And I can go on and on listing how fortunate we have been in the midst of this global pandemic. At the same time, we have students at home that are hungry as we speak, that don't know where their next meal or when their next meal is going to come. That may be in a household where no one is able to work, or at least their hours have been significantly reduced. That may be in a household with other family challenges, whether they be resource challenges, whether they be health challenges, whether they be other domestic challenges that our students are facing or may be facing. And I can go on and on, again, about the 67% of our students that are on free or reduced lunch, right? So I want to say that because when we use words like equity, is it equitable for our students with limited to no opportunities, for our students with limited to no resources, for our students with varying levels and degrees of learning ability, for our students with limited to no options, to compete with some students that, because of their opportunities and resources and privileges, and it's not to blame one or the other, but because of the privileges and resources and capital that they've been afforded, that they would get much further ahead and would have the opportunity to get much further ahead. And we're just talking simply here in grade perspective. No matter how hard our struggling students are trying, it is not an equal playing field. No matter how hard, no matter how much effort, no matter how much the household is trying to support students right now, it is not an equal playing field. So all the wonderful work that our district has been trying to do prior to March 13th and continues to do around opportunity and achievement gap not only would be undone, but would be magnified if we yet again provided another way for some students to get much further ahead during the worst of times. So I want to highlight that because the philosophy behind our no harm policy on no grading upholds our commitment to equity for all. So this is the state of affairs, unfortunately, that many families are facing, but it's relative to opportunity, privilege, resources, stability, learning ability. And so I applaud our district for, one, having this policy, but for the motion that was just made to continue with our current policy.
I'd like to add to that. We've heard from a lot of the parents and some of the students, and some people have mentioned other districts in our area that have used a grading system. But I would say that if we are using, or if we are looking at LAUSD, for example, they are giving grades. But according to a recent article in the Press Telegram by the chair of their English department, only about half of the kids are participating. And it is their policy that whatever grade the student earned on March 13th is the grade that they will be getting at the end of June, with the opportunity to raise the grade, but the grade cannot go lower than whatever grade they were earning on March 13th. So if I'm a student in LA Unified and I'm earning an A or a B and I'm very happy with that, I don't actually have to do anything. Nothing. I don't even have to show up. And according to that article in the Press Telegram, that's exactly what half the kids are doing. They're not even showing up. Why? Because there's no fail option. So there's a limited value to the grading system, and I kind of take offense to our policy of credit, no credit, when you're being put up against this policy of giving grades when there's not a true value to those grades. And I think that's a big part of this equity is I think what we're doing is the right thing, and I stand beside that. And that's one of the reasons.
Thank you, Diana. Further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to echo my colleagues' comments. I've made my feelings on this fairly well known on my public Facebook page. I've responded to those about 33 people who have reached out to me via email. I do want to shout out to the 2 students who reached out. Of that 33, 2 of them were students. I always listen and take into consideration what I hear. But this decision is bigger than 33 to 40 people who reached out to me. This is about a larger community. One of the examples that I tried to give was that we could have 2 students. They could be at the same school or they could be at different schools, taking the same classes with the same exact GPA, with the same desire to apply to a college, who on March 13th, their world turned upside down. And the circumstances in which they found themselves were completely upended they had no control over it. None of us have had any control over this. And by circumstance, one student can continue to dedicate hours and hours a week or a day to their studies. And that other student with the same grade circumstances may suddenly have to work more hours because they worked at an essential job and now they're available. I had a teacher reach out to me to say that one student is now doing Instacart runs with their family because their parents aren't working. So that same student, AP class as somebody else, no longer has the opportunity to advance. And so by allowing students to get a grade, we're saying that student who has the opportunity to sit in a safe home where they are well fed has the opportunity to get an academic advantage over someone who is not in that circumstance. It's very clear. So we're not harming folks by not allowing them to get an advantage over their peers. What we're saying is no student has control over the situation. No student has control over what's happening in the world and in their home and with their employment status. And so we're going to relieve the burden of feeling like they need to overperform just to stay even with their peers. I stand by this decision really firmly, and I'm really proud of us. This is one of the most important things that we've done. And it's hard to hear people. It's hard to know. And so I will say that I have not received comments from hardly any of my constituents who I serve. I know Dr. Benitez and I have very similar constituencies. And so what I'm hearing from some of my students and my teachers in my schools as this has been one thing that has helped make the world being upside down a little easier for them. And so our obligation is to the majority of our students. You know, we have 25,000 kids in high school, 25,000 kids who have very different circumstances. So I firmly stand beside this decision, and I'm grateful for my colleagues' comments.
Thank you. Further discussion?
I would just like to add that for those students who are high achieving, for those students who have an excellent work ethic, and for those students who have goals of attending the school of their dream and everything else, stay at it. Keep working. Stay motivated. You will be rewarded for your efforts. And just, you know, congratulations on doing so well, but continue to do that.
Thank you, Diana. It's now time to vote on the motion. Roll call vote. Ms. Craighead?
Yes, this is to maintain our policy of credit, no credit.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Mr. Meyer?
Yay.
Dr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Kerr?
Aye.
I vote yes. The motion is approved unanimously. Thank you, one and all. Superintendent's employment agreement, Brent?
Yes, Dr. Williams, thank you. Dr. Williams and members of the board. Senate Bill 1436 requires that whenever the board is going to consider an item which impacts compensation of executive staff, that you give an oral summary of the recommendation for the contract. So I'm happy to do that now. Because Long Beach Unified School District never conducted a salary survey during Chris's term between 2002 and 2020, the district discovered that its superintendent's salary was in an 18-year time warp because it looked at competing superintendent salaries for the other large urban California districts. It discovered that the superintendent salaries for the other large urban California districts increased considerably during that time, and that they significantly outpaced Chris's salary. Currently, the average base salary for large urban superintendents in California is at right around $329,000 for base salary. But that's just the base salary. Superintendent compensation packages sometimes contain bonuses and other benefits that significantly increase the compensation packages. And so when you look at total compensation packages for the other large urban California superintendents, that total compensation package average is at $420,474. So the agreement that is before you tonight would be effective August 1st, 2020, and it would run for 4 years. The proposed salary is $345,000 annually. It includes a $600 a month car allowance, or she could choose that the district would provide her with a car to use. Like Chris's prior agreement, it also includes an additional life insurance provision, which has an annual premium cap at $10,000. Her other benefits would be the same as apply to other executive staff. Significantly also, this agreement provides that if there are salary reductions during the term of this agreement, or if there are furloughs during the term of this agreement, then the greatest salary reduction or the greatest furlough amount that applies to any employee group would be applied to her salary and to her number of days. And that concludes my oral summary, Dr. Williams.
Thank you very much, Brent. Get a motion, and then we can open this up for discussion.
I move approval.
Second.
Second.
let me start off by saying that that Dr. Baker was by far the best candidate. She has and will have my full support. I have complete confidence in her that she will perform the duties of superintendent to the highest, at the highest level. But I do want to say that I have reservations about the compensation package. And I want to be totally transparent here because I think that's what makes our board special and what will make our relationship with the new superintendent special. So I want to contextualize my reservations with what's currently facing us as a school district. We have just been informed by our state that we will have a 10% reduction in our budget, roughly the equivalent of $70 million this coming year. And things are likely to be worse in the years after that. We have currently been experiencing a 2 to 3% decrease in enrollment. And for each percent that we have a reduced enrollment, that's about $7 to $8 million per percent. So in the best scenario, this fall, with all of the uncertainty that we have about schools and in what form or fashion we'll be open, we will be open, just not sure what that will look like, that there's a funding formula attached to that as well. So I applaud our superintendent for submitting on behalf of our district and other school districts because in order for us to keep a high-quality education, we're going to need more funds and resources. It's that simple. So the equity that we just talked about, we cannot uphold that without additional resources to provide a high-quality education moving forward. That being said, we may experience a 5% or a 7%, who knows, even a 10% decrease in enrollment this fall, which would be another additional $50, $60, $70 million. So it's very hard to contemplate that we will ultimately need to have discussions in the next year about how our budget will be impacted. We could lose $200 million in the next 3 years. And so it's difficult to avoid thinking about potential layoffs and or furloughs and or a combination of those. So that's the reason why I have reservations for the compensation package. Like I said, I have full confidence in Dr. Baker. She has a proven track record in our district, and she will continue to lead our district. I just have reservations about the salary, and it's unfortunate that our current superintendent, Mr. Steinhauser, was so severely underpaid all these years. But I wanted to share that as part of our discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Further discussion?
Brent, could you tell us, with a total compensation package, where that, some averages, where would that land our next superintendent in terms of total compensation package compared to peers?
Yeah, so the total compensation package for other competing superintendent districts would be at about $420,000. Hers would be at around $383,000. So her total compensation package would come in significantly below the average of the other large urban California superintendent salaries and compensation packages.
Thank you.
Further discussion?
You may have said this, Brent. I apologize if I missed it. I'm looking for it here in my paperwork. What is our current superintendent's base salary?
His current base salary, I believe, is at $287,000.
I'd like to add, I am so proud that we have offered a contract to Jill Baker, validating her worth. We are so lucky to have her. It's like walking into a lion's den this next fall and years to follow, and the challenges she has to meet. If anything, probably what we're offering her is underpaid for the responsibilities she has to assume.
Thank you, John. Further discussion. Let me just add that given the circumstances that we're now having to deal with, I think initially I would have had a bit of concern about where this base salary was as well. But based on the fact that there would be adjustments made based on budget realities in her salary, I feel very comfortable in moving forward on this because of that. And all the other discussion about what we're being confronted with as a school district in terms of the work that needs to be done to make sure that we remain one of the top performing school districts in the nation. Again, I just want to reiterate the fact that she has agreed to cuts as necessary based on budget realities, and because of that, I'm comfortable with supporting this salary. Further discussion. Okay, roll call vote. Ms. Craighead.
Aye.
Mr. Meyer.
Aye.
Dr. Benitez.
I will abstain for the reasons that I mentioned.
Okay. Ms. Kerr.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion is approved 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you. Okay. We are now at report of board members. Let's start with Mr. Meyer.
Thank you. I think I've used up my time.
Thank you, John. Ms. Craighead.
I would just like to mention a couple of things for Teacher Appreciation Week and other things that schools are doing at Patrick Henry. They have featured some online science projects that students have done, and it's a way for students to kind of display their work and to have a little bit of recognition for that. And that's been fun to see those emails with pictures and everything, see what the kids are up to. And then at Coverly, the teachers made a video montage of messages for their students. And one of the teachers, Mrs. Moss, came up with a poem that I'm going to share, and it's real brief, but it's kind of a Dr. Seuss style. And she said, I will teach you in a room. I will teach you now on Zoom. I will teach you in a house. I will teach you with my mouth. I will teach you here or there. I will teach because I care.
Very nice.
I just thought I'd share that.
I thought you were going to add, I will teach you anyway, but that's okay.
No, I was true to Mrs. Moss's poem.
Thank you, Diana. Dr. Benitez.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Williams. Let me pull up my notes here. I wanted to make sure. So we heard from a couple of folks tonight over public comment, and a lot of folks have reached out to me, specifically the folks that I mentioned are really struggling right now, and struggling for a bunch of different reasons, but particularly with learning at home during a crisis. So I would just urge our school district to continue doing all that we're doing, but to strongly consider how we can leave as many of our digital and online resources available to students over the summer, and the Chromebook as well, right? I know that some of the Chromebooks that are out were lent to students and families, but with the loss of learning and just the lack of access to resources over the summer. And I would just hope that our district does all that we can to make sure that students that need Chromebooks and that need technology at home and that want to take advantage of the online resources that we have, that we make as many of those available to all of our students over the summer. I know there are some community organizations and groups that would be willing to step up with tutoring over the summer, with help with families and students navigating the online resources. So just want to share that. And then also, a lot of folks are still asking, what's going to happen, right? So I know we'll have announcements. I'm looking forward to our virtual graduation. A lot of folks spent time and energy trying to put that together for our graduating seniors. So stay on the lookout for that and announcements related to that. But I'd like to say that for all that is being conversed about regarding opening up our economy in phases, we're dealing with schools and students. And so I think it is hard for our community members to, on the one hand, juxtapose that some things in our economy are opening up, and then the frustration of not knowing what our schools are going to look like. But first and foremost, we're looking out for the safety and health of not just students, but our staff and our teachers. So even though it may be very frustrating for many, many parents that have reached out to me, I stand by us not making any hasty decisions around opening up schools in the way that they were opened before, and exploring any and all possible ways that schools will be open. And the thing is, schools haven't even closed. That's the other thing, right? That teachers are working, staff is working. The school sites are not as busy or as full as they normally are during this time of year. But I have to remind folks that even though, golf courses are open, a golf course is not a school. Even though tennis courts are open, tennis courts are not schools with thousands of students at them. And again, unless we really think about what it's going to take to properly fund schools and maintain health and safety in the highest educational levels possible for students, then it's a zero-sum game. We cannot both maintain the health of everyone and at the same time offer the same kind of instruction that we've been offering. So thank you to our district staff, our executive team, our teachers for pushing through. And we got a few more weeks to go left this academic year. We'll have some more conversations over the summer. But I just want to reiterate that we are looking out for the safety, health, and education of our students. We can't do it where we just magically swing a wand around and all of a sudden school's back to normal again. Just ain't going to happen, folks. Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you, Dr. Benitez. Mr. Kerr.
Yes, thank you. And I want to echo Dr. Benitez's comments. The people who are looking at this decision, our superintendent, our executive staff, our incoming superintendent, they have decades upon decades upon decades in the hundreds of years of education experience between them, and not a single one of them has done anything except take this incredibly seriously. I guarantee, and I know because of email messages and text messages that I get very late at night, that most of them are not sleeping very well either, because this is the thing that worries educators most. And I just want to thank staff for continuing to try and figure it out and using every available resource, whether there are county health officials, our city partners, state recommendations. I know some CDC recommendations just dropped, and lots of people will have opinions on how we do this. But I want to thank our executive staff and our team who have been working tirelessly to figure this out in the best interest of students. It isn't anything any of them take lightly. And so when I take it's hard to hear when people think that our educators, that they know better than some of the folks who have been doing this for a very long time in this community and in this district. So I just want to put out publicly how grateful I am to our own team, who is considering every possible scenario in the best interest of our staff and our students, and their incredible hard work when the information continues to change every day again, and recommendations change every hour. So I just want to reassure the public that no one is taking this lightly. No one is being blasé about the possibilities of what being together looks like. Everyone is working incredibly hard. And so thank you to staff for all of that work, and for the teachers and instructional aides and intervention specialists who are continuing to support students in the best way they can in an upside-down world. So thank you to that. I just want to give a brief shout-out to our Long Beach Fire Department, our Long Beach Police Department, who continue to support our students and teachers by leading parades through neighborhoods. A special shout-out to Station 9 for their participation in the Hughes Parade a few weeks back. The Mayor's Fund continues to partner to provide resources for our early childhood community, including diapers and resources. So there is a lot of heart happening behind the work, and I know sometimes it's hard to hear that when you just see press releases because we're not together. And as much as communicating this way gets the information across, we know that being in relationship is more than seeing each other on a screen. So I just want to express gratitude for all those who are trying their best to reach through the screen and put kids in classrooms and to make people feel appreciated and important. I know we announced some administrative assignment changes tonight, and we'll post them shortly. And I know that it's hard to hear that there's changes in the midst of the world being upside down. But we know that there are some situations we can't prevent. So staff, like parents and community members, have to make decisions in their own best interest. And so when people choose to retire or move or make changes in their career, that creates opportunities for movement. And so I know some folks are going to say there shouldn't be any changes right now, but it's not possible. So know that staff has been incredibly thoughtful and diligent in making decisions in the best interest of our students and families and school communities, because we know that they are unique and special, and you guys mean a lot to each other on those campuses. So as those movements and changes happen and you don't get an opportunity to say goodbye in a way that you would like, I would encourage you to potentially send a note along to that person who you might not see next year. And know that we're going to get through this, and we're going to continue to be transparent with you, and we're going to continue to communicate with you, and that everyone is doing the best that they can. And again, I will call for patience and grace. And then I will call for all of you to be advocates. As Dr. Benitez says, we are being called on to do more to support student safety next year, and we are being given less funding to do it. So all of you parents and community members who have a fire in your belly about how we need to be together next year, you need to take that to the highest levels of our state government and ask them to produce a budget that supports student learning and that supports student safety. And that will be near impossible to do with 10 to 20% less. So we need to be loud, and we need to tell them that if they have high expectations on us, we have high expectations on the funding they're going to provide so that we can provide the best environment for our students. And I would echo that at the federal level as well. So take that frustration and turn it into advocacy on our behalf and on behalf of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. I would like to also extend my congratulations to all of the folks who are making shifts in terms of administrative assignments, and I'm sure you will do a fantastic job. Also, with respect to our essential workers who have not stopped doing their jobs in spite of this pandemic, people who deliver the mail and so forth and so on, make sure that life can go on as reasonably as possible under the circumstances. So my sincere thanks to all of those as well. We are now at the superintendent's report.
Yes, 2 items. One, I want to publicly thank our local state representatives, Assemblymember O'Donnell, Senator Gonzalez, Anthony Rendon, and others who are really fighting for us in Sacramento and doing a great job, meeting and calling us on a regular basis, as well as Congressman Lowenthal at the federal level. But you're exactly right. These cuts are going to be massive, and they're going to go on not just for 1 year, but potentially for multiple years. So we really, really do need everyone's support. And then I also want to correct, I wasn't clear when I spoke about one of the assignments. So Ed Samuels, who is going from principal of Hughes Middle School, is going to be an assistant to the superintendent, not an assistant superintendent. So maybe one day he'll be an assistant superintendent, but not today. So he's a great person. So I just want to make sure that everyone, because someone got social media and, as we were speaking. So Ed will be a great assistant to Dr. Baker. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we are now at announcements. Any announcements? Okay, introduce a
Dr.
motion.
Williams, sorry, can I have one announcement?
Go ahead.
Our most inspirational student awards, May 23rd. If folks can tune into that.
All right, thank you very much.
It's May 28th.
I'm sorry, May 28th.
Yes,
Sorry.
thank you.
Okay. The MIS, May 28th. Any other announcements? Introduce the motion for adjournment.
Moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you.